There he is. This is my Labubu. I mean, he's pretty darn cute. Labubu has been around for quite some time, actually going all the way back to 2015. That was when Hong Kong artist Kasing Lung first created Labubu, and Labubu was brought to the market through Pop Mart. It started with vinyl figures and then quickly moved into plush. And the plush is what really went viral. A lot of that can be attributed to K-pop star Lisa.
I'm such a nerd.
This created a lot of demand, a lot of hype around the product. Also started what could be considered the worldwide phenomenon of Labubu today. We're actually even going to see Labubu in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade, which is quite exciting. Now, as creative entrepreneurs, I think there's a lot that we can learn from Pop Mart and the Labubu craze, and that's what I want to share with you today, is what we can learn as creative entrepreneurs from the hype and scarcity around Labubu. Make no mistake, the scarcity and hype around Labubu is something that has been completely engineered by the folks at Pop Mart. They do limited drops both in stores and online. And when the numbers are limited like this, everyone is trying to get their hands on it. And this has even created problems with fake Labubus coming to the market, which have been dubbed Lafufus. What does all this have to do with small business and creative entrepreneurship? Actually, a lot. You see, as creative entrepreneurs, as service-driven businesses, we can create hype through scarcity. And this scarcity is actually going to create value. A lot of the potential clientele out there that we cater to already have a perceived value of the services that we provide. So how do we differentiate ourselves from every other person who does what we do? By being very selective about the clientele that we work with. There is power in scarcity and hype. I feel like photographers are one of the best examples of taking advantage of hype and scarcity. Photographers do this all the time when they offer mini sessions. They'll offer 8 to 10 slots at a specific time on a specific day at a relatively reduced rate. This takes a lower ticketed item and makes it feel premium when it becomes more and more scarce as people take the time slots. The execution is relatively simple. You just limit the number of spots that you're putting out, promote it, and let scarcity do the heavy lifting. For creative studios and agencies, this is actually one of the biggest unlocks for making more money. When your clients know that your calendar is not wide open, it creates perceived value. But if it's a situation where a potential client has to apply to be on your roster or even earn the spot, then that feels like prestige. This is not about being arrogant about the services that you provide. It's just about setting boundaries with your potential clientele and creating a perceived value. There's obviously a balance between access, exclusivity, and experience. You don't want to fake scarcity just to sound important. When you have potential clients reaching out to you, you don't want to say, yeah, I can't talk until next Tuesday. You want to be open to speaking to people. You just don't want to give them an open calendar. When I have a client reach out to me, I will offer them a few different time slots to hopefully find a time that works for both of us. And if those don't work, then I'll push something out later into the next week. But if I was to just share with them my Calendly and it looked completely open for the rest of the week, then they're going to perceive that like my time is not valuable. I also take this into consideration when I'm taking meetings with potential clients. I'll typically limit the meeting to 20 minutes or less. In some situations, depending on the client, I'll limit the meeting to 15 minutes or less. The more time you give people, the less valuable they see that time. They're going to perceive your services as being higher value, as a person who values your time. Now, once you do accept one of these clients, you got to treat them like a winner. Every client, this goes for every client. Every client wants to feel like they're your only client. And we all know this couldn't be further from the truth. But as entrepreneurs, it's kind of our duty to cater to this illusion and make them feel like they are the number one client. We can do this through communication, personalization, care. I like to be very responsive with my clients when they're reaching out through email. I like to find ways to be on their level. If like a particular client only wants to use Zoom versus Google Meet, where we're very much a Google Meet type of company, I'll still cater to that. I will use Zoom because I want to meet the client where they are and make them feel like they're the number one client that we're catering to, no matter what price point they are at with our services. Remember, scarcity may get your clients in the door, but the experience is what's going to keep it feeling premium. Remember, Labubu did not go viral on accident. This was all engineered. You can do the same thing in your small business by applying these 3 principles. 1, be selective. Don't accept every client that emails you. You're not playing hard to get. You're setting yourself up as a premium service that anyone should be happy to get their hands on. Next, be intentional. When you get a phone call, answer it. When you get an email, reply right away. Treat every client like they're your number one client. Finally, create a client experience that feels like a win. Eventually, if your clients feel special, then they're going to become your biggest fans. Everywhere they go, they will rave about the service that you provide and the experience that they have while working with you. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like. And if you're interested in learning more about creative entrepreneurship, building small business, then make sure that you subscribe to the channel.